What the hell did I just watch? What does it all mean? What does it all mean? Mother! Exclamation mark. Mother is a movie directed by Darren Aronofsky. Again, I don't think I'm saying his name correctly. Starring Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Michelle Pfeiffer and Ed Harris. The movie's about a married couple living in the middle of nowhere, or as we like to call in Australia, in Whoop Whoop. Bardem's character is trying to write a book, but he's suffering from writer's block. Jennifer Lawrence's character is renovating. Then Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer's characters arrive, and they stay for a while, and then all of a sudden more people start showing up, and that's when stuff starts to get very, 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 very crazy. When I first saw the trailer to this movie, I thought it was going to be some kind of thriller horror movie. But after going in to see this film, it is nothing like that at all. It is definitely not a horror movie, other than a few jump scares. That's the closest it gets to being a horror movie. Now, I can't talk too much about the movie itself without spoiling too much. That basic overview that I gave earlier is probably the most I can give with the story, because if I say too much more, it's going to spoil it for anybody else that watches it. Basically, this movie is a metaphor, or a collection of a lot of different metaphors. So, some metaphors that I noticed in the film are like metaphors of how humans treat the environment, how humans treat each other, and there are very, very, very biblical metaphors in there too. It also shows the effect of what fame can have on somebody. Both Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem give excellent performances. They really, really do suck you into the film. And I can tell you, Jennifer Lawrence, she has one set of lungs on her. She can scream up there with the best of them. And the movie is completely 100% from her point of view. We don't see the movie from any other character's perspective. If she's walking in on somebody talking or goes to interact with somebody there, it's just from her point of view. She has no idea what they were talking about. Pacing in this film is all over the place. Towards the start of the film, things are incredibly slow and a bit boring, as there's not much action to start off in the film. It's mostly dialogue between the married couple and the people that come into the house. There are exciting things that happen to split that up a little bit, but I did find myself a bit bored during some parts in the movie. And that's when the pacing is really, really slow. But when things pick up, when shit hits the fan, it goes from 0 to 100 in no time flat. It goes absolutely insane towards the end. Insane. Like, you're sitting there in the theatre going, what the hell is going on? You're just trying to figure out what is going on in this movie. It is insane. This movie definitely isn't a run-of-the-mill kind of movie. So, movies do have metaphors in them, but this one seems to focus mostly on metaphors and how we interpret all these different things. Which as far as I'm aware, that is how Darren Aronofsky likes to direct his films. He likes to put a lot of metaphors in there. And as I said, people are going to interpret this movie differently, but I think that's kind of what Aronofsky wanted. Because in the movie, Javier Bardem says, after he's written his book, that everybody's going to interpret it differently. Everybody does interpret it differently, which I think is what Aronofsky was trying to do with this film, have everybody get different things out of it. Some metaphors are more obvious than others. There's obvious Mother Earth and God metaphors. There's Adam and Eve metaphors. And as I said before, how humans treat each other and how they treat the environment. It is definitely not a movie for everybody. Not everybody's going to particularly enjoy this film. Even when I was watching it in the movies, as the credits were rolling, people were getting up and leaving, I could hear people saying, that was a waste of time. Why be bother even coming to that? Because they probably watched the trailer, as I did originally, and thought it was going to be some kind of horror movie thriller, which of course it is not. And they probably felt a bit ripped off. I'm not sure why the movie was marketed that way. It was probably marketed that way to trying to get people to buy tickets for it. Because, I don't know, it came out the weekend before and it was trying to compete with that, I guess. Who knows? And just to recap, this movie is definitely a bit of a mindfuck. It will have you thinking about it a long time after you've watched it. I watched it last night and I'm still thinking about it today. Even like just random moments like that don't even seem to matter in the film, you'll just be thinking about it and go, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that makes sense now. So it's good in that regard. It's a movie that you really do think about after you finish watching it. So the characters were great, the acting was great, the pacing's a bit off, it can get dull sometimes, and when it is boring, it is boring. But when things pick up, it goes insane towards the end. I feel I personally got something out of this movie, but I'm not sure if everybody else will. I personally enjoyed the movie, but I didn't love it. I can see why people didn't enjoy it. It's probably not a movie that I would see again, but who knows. I'm going to give Mother 6 screaming Jennifer Lawrence heads out of 10. Alright everyone, if you enjoyed my review, give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.